All right. Welcome to Sideboard MTG. My name's Eric, and today we're going to be doing something a little different. Today we're going to be doing an Albion Online stream, and hopefully I'll be able to help answer some questions for some of you that have never seen Albion Online. This is a game that I play when I'm not playing Magic the Gathering. It's a really good game, and I started out as a World of Warcraft player. I guess you could say started with Diablo, Diablo 2, Lord of Destruction. Played a lot of Blizzard MMOs, things like that. A little bit of League of Legends, a little bit of you know other Blizzard games like Heroes of the Storm, things like that. Played a few MOBAs, and I kind of got into this Albion Online game about 6 months ago. And the game's a lot of fun, and it's got a lot of aspects to it that a lot of other MMOs don't have. So I wanted to just kind of do a stream about once a week here, and if you guys had any questions or you wanted to maybe even give me some quest, because it's an MMO with no quest. So we're just gonna go ahead and jump into the game and run around, and hopefully chat will pop up and give me some questions or something like that, and maybe I can answer something for some of you guys. But I'm going to go over some beginner tips and some advice that I think is 100% necessary, that you guys need to know if you are going to get started with this game. I also want to say, if you haven't downloaded the game, there's a link in the description box below. Yes, there is a referral program. If you refer people, you can get some cosmetic items and a pile of tomes, an amount that's like a small tier 3 mount. It's cute though. It's a frog. So it's not about the referrals. It's actually about just trying to get more people into the game. It's a very small game. It's small enough to the point where all the players are on a single server. Alright, so well, I guess we should talk about what is the basic idea of this game. Why don't I put my code in chat? I guess I could do that. Alright, can we... let's copy the clipboard. There we go. What? It will not let me post that code in chat. It's saying error, try again. So we won't be able to do that, but there is a link in the description box if you guys want to check it out. So if you first download Albion Online, you're going to start in a tutorial. Now, in that tutorial, you're actually going to have about 5 or 6 quests. It's going to tell you to go make something. It's going to ask you to make your beginning tools, and once you get those tools made and you get out of the tutorial, your quests are over. You have no more quests. If you want to do something in the game, you just simply go do it. You need to be able to drive your own quests, so you'll need to be able to come up with your own focus. Now there's a few different things you can do. You can gather resources, and like any MMORPG. You can gather those resources. You can make items with those resources. In fact, every item in this game that's not a resource is produced by players. That's right, every item, including the items that are dropped from mobs. Enemy mobs, NPCs, will drop player-created items. That's right. I'll explain how that works. This game has what's called a black market auction house, and when you go out and kill a monster, let's say that you were supposed to get a plate helmet, and the NPC storage or black market auction house bank has no plate helmets in it. It will then raise the price that it's offering to pay for a plate helmet. And I'm being very vague on this, but it will then raise the price that it's offering to pay for a plate helmet, and you will not receive loot. But that price will go up on the black market auction house. Now, once enough people have rolled on a plate helmet, but it didn't actually drop because there was not a plate helmet in the game's inventory to give you, that that will then make the price high enough that people will be willing to actually make plate helmets and sell to the game so that it can drop as loot. Now that also goes for bows and stabs and everything else that is in this game. So that's one of the cool aspects about this game that I haven't actually ever seen in another game. Now some of you may be able to point out some other game that I don't know of that actually uses this idea, but this is the first time I had ever seen it, and I thought that that was really, really cool. Also, items in this game will trash. So if you kill someone and you get ready to loot their gear, that's right, full loot PvP. You kill someone, you get to take everything they own, everything that they're currently carrying on their body will be available for you to pick up unless it's trashed. That means that items that are currently created in the game do not potentially stay in the game forever. So it does have a way of actually taking those items out of the game. And I also think that that is a very cool way to make sure that crafting stays relevant throughout the course of the game. You have auction houses. I'll go down here and we'll look at the auction house really quick. The marketplace. There's 5 royal cities and then a royal capital. We're currently in Thetford, which is the cloth city, if you will. It's the city that you're most likely to find cloth around in the game, or fiber in the given area. So here you would most likely find that fiber is cheaper. So let's do it like this. Let's go resources, fiber. You can find fiber really cheap here because it's very abundant here. Whereas if we pull up the map, we take a look at where we're at. We're in the swamp, and if you want to check out a given area to see what resources are in that area, you can select an area, and in the top corner here it will let you know that you can find tiers 3 through 5 of wood, leather, and fiber in this particular area. You will not find stone, and you will not find ore in this area of any level. That means that if you want to find ore or stone, you'll need to go to the next biome, kind of like Minecraft, if you will. So you'll go to the next biome. Here in this biome, you'll see that they don't have wood or leather, but they have stone, fiber, and ore. So each biome has 3 resources, and one of the resources will be the primary. So in the swamps, we have a primary resource of fiber. In the flatlands, I guess it is, or the hills, you will find that the major resource is stone. In the desert, you will find the major resource to be leather. In the forest, the major resource will be wood. And then in the mountains, the major resource will be ore. Okay, so pretty simple. Rough stone here and there. Hey, okay, so rough stone is in and of itself its own kind of its own little thing. But you're rarely going to find stone outside the proper biome for it. So the royal city here is in the slap dab in the center of the royal continent, and this is where you're going to start out. When you start the game, you're going to be able to pick one of these starting locations. Now it doesn't matter which location you start at, and you're going to have the same tutorial. You'll complete the tutorial, and then you'll be able to get your starting zone. So depending on where you start at will depend on what you pick, of course, and you're probably going to want to to make sure that like you kind of have an idea of where you want to go with your character. And that's one of the biggest things about this game is there are no levels. So you get this huge skill tree, and all characters have it. There's no such thing as actually leveling your character. You level your gear. If one person has swung a sword a lot more than another person, they're going to be a lot better with that sword than the person who has never picked up a sword. And that's kind of how this game works. You will have to increase your character's level or mastery level, and increase your character's specialization in that mastery. So let's say that you wanted to be a mage. All right, we're just going to go with a mage for example. And you might want to go with a cloth armor or something like that. You're not bound to be on cloth armor. You can wear maybe a cloth chest and a leather helmet, maybe even some plate boots, and this is going to give you a mix and match. Like most of the time when we play MMORPGs, we think, okay, you're a caster, you have to be wearing 100% cloth. You're a DPS, you're probably going to be wearing, medium armor, leather, that sort of thing. Oh, you're a tank, well, you're clearly going to be wearing plate. Well, that is true to some extent, but a lot of times you'll see tanks wearing cloth shoes or leather shoes or something like that. You'll even sometimes see DPS wearing soldier's armor or something to be able to just get a benefit off of the ability. And that's kind of what makes this game special, because there are no classes. You are the class of the weapons and armor that you're currently wearing. So in this game, a lot like Magic the Gathering, and for those of you that are watching this for the first time and don't know my channel, we're a Magic the Gathering channel, and this is just kind of a little something extra that I'm throwing together. In Magic the Gathering, we get the opportunity to build decks a lot, and a lot of us really like deck building. Now, with Albion Online, you get to build your character a lot. There's tons of different builds, and we'll take a quick look at let's say the axes, for example. I really like the axes, and I haven't played them on this character. This is a new character that I have created just for the game, or for this stream. The character's name is Livestream, so welcome to the Adventures of Livestream. But once you get your first weapon to tier 4, which won't take you very long, it happens really quick, you'll then unlock the ability to wear all of the different types of that weapon. So let's say we were using axes and we got to tier 4, then we would be able to use the Adept's Battle Axe. Now on the Adept's Battle Axe, you're going to see that you have a Q ability, a W ability, an E ability, and a passive. And this is the same for all weapons in the game. They all have a Q, W, E, and passive. Now all axes are going to have the same Q and W, but what's special about each axe will be its E ability. Now its E will be special and unique to that particular weapon. It is a very interesting game, Boros, and that's why I wanted to just kind of, put a video out and let everyone kind of get a look at it. I know that most of my audience has a computer because most of us play MTG Arena or MTGO or something like that, and this game's free to play. So I figured, why not? Once a week we'll do a little stream. Maybe we can have some group activities. You guys want to get in Discord or something like that, we'll go out together. If those of you that want to play, we can go out together and gank some people, try to take their gear, that sort of thing. It's a very, very mean game in the fact that it is PvP. So as you see here, we get Vampiric Strike on just the regular axe, and that particular ability will do more damage based on how many charges of the bleed we've put on our opponent from our Q ability. Now if we move into the Great Axe, which is my favorite of the axes, that and the Halberd. The Halberd's pretty sweet. The Halberd's my go-to PvP weapon. Now, if we look at the Great Axe, it still has the same Q and W, but you'll see here that the E ability is Whirlwind, and it doesn't care about how many stacks of bleed you have on the opponent. If we move over to the Adept's Halberd, you can then put your stacks of bleed on one target and then use Tear Apart, which would then spread those bleeds to everyone else. You've got cards, or cards. You've got the Bear Paws, which is like, dual wielding axes, right? And that gives you a jump ability. You jump and slash them in a large cone, dealing some damage and also inflicting another severe bleed. So, the Bear Paws are even more bleeds. We have the Infernal Scythe here with a mighty attack. A mighty attack with your scythe that deals damage twice to enemies around you. The first hit causes a bleed for 51 damage per second for 5 seconds. So, pretty cool ability there. And all of these weapons and armors are the same thing. So, like, let's go over here to cloth armors. Once we've leveled up, our basic cloth armor, we'll then have access to be able to wear tier 4 cloth helmets, tier 4 cloth, robes, and tier 4 cloth boots, that sort of thing. And there's an assortment of different robes. Now, each of these robes are going to have a special ability on them. Like the Fiend robe has Fear. Now, anyone who's ever played a Warlock knows what Fear is, right? It's exactly what it seems like. You get an aura around you, and anything that gets in that aura is forced to run away from you. There's, Druid robes, which, give you the option to have this, just massive amount of damage or healing power. And you'll notice that the Mend Wounds and Frost Shield were also there on the Fiend robes. We'll see that they're also there on the Cultist robes. Those abilities are there on the Royal robes, Scholar robes. All of the robes have the same 2 first abilities, but then they all have a special ability that makes that particular item unique. The same is for every single piece of gear in this game. Like, you could have Ice Block if you wanted to wear the Cleric Cowl. You could have Perpetual Energy, where everything you cast costs 0 energy for 15 seconds. If you decide to wear the Royal Cowl, maybe you want to put a dot on someone so that every time they activate an ability, they take a bunch of damage with Enter Corruption. That's on the Cultist Cowl. And it goes on and on with all of the different weapons and abilities. So you'll be able to mix and match your gear, and you're not bound by some class restrictions like you have been in most MMORPGs before this. So you're not stuck as a warlock, you're not stuck as a barbarian, you're not always going to be a paladin. You are what you wear in this game. Now, that's pretty sweet in and of itself, and you will want to level up certain things. But because of that, and because you can easily switch from one thing to another, like, extremely quickly, and you can, one moment you're out in a build where, you're a melee DPS, the next, life you're out there as a bow, and you're on the same character. It just doesn't matter. Now, as you start getting these pieces of gear, you'll notice that naturally the gear is going to have an item level, right? The item level or item power, like this particular staff has a 900 baseline item power, but as you level up your mastery in nature staves, you're going to get a 0.2 bonus to item power to all nature staves. Now, then you move on up the tree, you'll see that there are 4 different types of nature staves. Technically, there are more than 4. If you look here, we'll see that there's actually 5 or 6 different nature staves. But when you move up the tree, you'll see that there's the nature staff, there is the great nature staff, then there's the wild staff, and then there are artifact nature staves. So as we go back over here and look, you'll see that, you know, we have one, two, three different artifact nature staves. So you have the three basics and then the three artifacts. Now, what does it mean that it's an artifact nature staff? That means that when you get ready to make this, it will require not just wood and fiber to make it, but you'll also have to find a special resource, a special artifact that makes this staff. So if you wanted to make just basic nature staves, it would take wood and fiber to make a staff. But if you wanted to make an artifact staff, you will need to get your hands on the proper artifact that can make that staff, right? Alright, so once you start playing with the same staff over and over for a period of time, you're going to start leveling up your specialization. So if you were leveling up just plain nature staves, you're going to get another 0.2% bonus to item power, and then you're going to get a +2 specialization bonus to item power for, or a 0.2, I'm saying percent, but a 0.2 bonus to item power. You get a +2 specialization bonus to item power if you're using that particular staff that you have specialization in. So technically leveling all four of these at eventually getting all four of these to max level, which would be 100. So you'll hear the term 400 of 400 means that with the nature staff, they have maxed out all four nature staffs so that they are getting that extra bonus from the 0.2 bonus to item power on all of their staffs. So that means that, you know, that person is really good with nature staffs, and that extra item power is going to give them bigger heals or more damage or something like that. So having a focus and making sure that you stick on something until you get it maxed out, or at least get it high enough that you're effective with it, is going to be really important. All right, so we're just gonna move on right now. So if any of you in chat have any questions about you know, that, we can go back and touch on that in a moment. Real quick, I'm gonna move into a couple things that I think that everyone needs to know, and I am constantly trying to help new players because that's just kind of one of the things that I like to do. I like to make sure that new players in the game, you know, their first experience is fairly decent, and, you know, they have somebody to play with and stuff. So in every one of the royal cities, you're going to be able to see that there's going to be the bank here in the center of town. Let's see if I can scroll out. All right, we're already out to the max. There's the bank in the center of town, and then just north of the bank entrance is going to be the market entrance. Now, somewhere north of the bank is going to be this guy. Now, this is called the travel planner. Now, you'll notice at the bottom that the travel planner will allow me to travel to another city, but he's going to charge me an amount of gold based on what items I have and how far I'm traveling. So if I'm traveling, you know, all the way to Bridgewatch, which is 2 cities away, then it's going to cost me 25,000 silver. I said gold, but 25,000 silver to be able to travel there. If I want to travel to just the next town over, it's going to... No, I don't want to join your guild. If I want to just go to a single town over, it's going to cost like 12,000 for what I'm currently wearing. A lot of people do not know this when they first start, but you're going to spend a lot of time traveling naked. Yeah, that's right, traveling naked. So we're going to run down here to the bank really quick. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. We don't need any of this. This was just some stuff I put on to help Tier 1 Jank the other day. He had actually downloaded the game. So now that we're naked, right? I know it's funny. You put all your gear in your bank. It will be safe in your bank. Speaking of guilds, yes, I am still considering making a beginner guild. You know, we'll see if I actually have people I tell you what, if you're watching this, let me know in the comments or let me know in chat whether or not you would like, you know, me to make a guild so that, you know, we can do whatever. But now if I go back to the travel planner, you'll see that I can travel to any of these cities and there's no luggage fee. I don't have any luggage. So I can travel for free. Instead of paying 25K to be able to travel to, let's say, Limhurst, we can just travel for 0 silver. You travel for free. You can spend that 25K to just buy you a new set of gear in the new city, and now you have gear in one city and gear in the other city. As you continue to play, you're going to start putting gear in a lot of different places, and the longer you play, the more likely you are to have gear just spread all over the world of Albion, and that's kind of expected. So if we come over here, you'll see that I do have some gear here. Well, what do you know? Most of it's very low level because, you know, it's just low level. I'm still a low level character. I wanted to start this character out as, you know, a healer, so we're going to you know, should we run around as a healer? Should I even do that? Oh, another thing. When you first start playing the game, you're going to get a free 3 days of premium. And premium access gives you your challenges. It allows you to participate in the Adventurers Challenge. The Adventurers Challenge will give you these boxes as they get unlocked. The Adventurers Challenge is pretty cool. Everything you do in the game is going to give you, you know, these keys. These keys will help unlock your chest, and you will get free rewards. And then each month has a special mount. This month was the Spectral Dire Boar. Pretty cool mount. The mount actually has an ability. The ability will allow the mount to go invisible for up to 5 seconds, and that's really, really good when someone's trying to kill you. So let's go get killed, right? Like, because it's something you all have to get used to at some point or another, right? Should we just put on crappy gear to go get killed? Shall we? All right, we'll put on some starter gear, some level 2 stuff, which is a joke, but we're just gonna put it on, and we need a donkey. A donkey is sure to get us killed. We got to go get a donkey. When you start the game out, you get a donkey. So I'm going to show you guys some of the different zones and how things kind of work as far as the PvP of the game goes. Now the big portion of this game is these auction houses and markets that are in each of the cities are not linked. So the things that you have for sale or the things you buy in Limhurst will not be the same prices, nor will it be the same auction house that you'll find in a different city. So let's get us a mule real quick. A novice's mule. It's a 5,000 silver mule, man. That's an expensive mule. I think you get them for like 3 silver a piece in the starting zone. So, all right. So we've got our mule. Let's get mounted up. We've got a sword. We're ready. We're ready. It's gonna go so bad. It's gonna go so bad. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna go out through the black zone. Okay. So we step through this portal, and this portal will take us. All right, here's the Royal Continent that I was showing you guys in just a moment ago. And then up here, you'll see the rest of the world. Now these are all black zones, Every bit of this is black zones. Now, what do I mean by black zone? All right, so there are 4 different colors zones in this game. There are blue zones where PvP is only if both members decide that they want to flag for PvP. And if you want to flag for PvP, there's a shield right up here. You can click this and you'll start flagging for PvP. Now, if you're flagged for PvP, you can only attack other players that are flagged for PvP in blue zones. If you're in a yellow zone and you're flagged for PvP, you can attack anyone you see. Now, in blue zones, if you kill someone, they actually just get knocked out. They drop to their knees, and they're just knocked out for 2.5 minutes, I think it is. And then they will be able to stand back up, and they will have a shield on them that will last for a few seconds to give them enough time to safely get away from you, so you can't just sit there and grief someone. What's up, Madness? Thanks for joining, man. Now, the yellow zones, if you flag for PvP and you knock someone who's not flagged for PvP, they're just going to go down on their knees. But there's also faction flagging, and I'll show you guys what faction flagging is really quick. Each city will allow you to fight as a mercenary or gather as a mercenary for that city. So if you enlist in the Limhurst faction, which is the forest city, if you enlist in the faction, you'll see that full loot PvP rules apply in all zones, even blue safe zones for faction flag players. Are you sure you want to flag for this city? Now, if you click yes, you must have an average item power to receive awards from capturing outpost in faction warfare. Okay, cool. We don't have that item power, so it's just not going to matter. But we are faction flags. So we're going to step out here into the yellow zone. This is you would. How am I today, Gary? I am absolutely wonderful, sir. My wife's grandparents are coming a little bit later today, so I'm not going to be streaming a whole lot over the next couple days. But I wanted to get this content out, and I also made my satire video earlier today. Best deck in standard, and then I tried to make like the worst deck I could possibly make, but recorded some games of me just like crushing the bot, like haha, look at this, man, this deck doesn't stand a chance. We see one's hurt up here. Looks like people were chasing him down. Here we go. All right, so we've got a red up here now. This is probably part of a trap, right? Like there's no way that we can. Oh, he got away from us. All right, so we'll try to catch him. I don't know if we can or not. I don't know if we can catch him. Yeah, there we go. He'll kill us. He's sure to kill us, right? Oh, come on back here. You're supposed to be the one who takes me down, dude. I'm trying to die for stream here, and you're not letting me do it. What a weenie. What a weenie. We're wearing tier 2 gear, dude. Come on. Oh, he's sprinting on us. He's sprinting on us. He's going to get away. He's going to get away. Man, that's horrible. Horrible. I didn't have a poison, and he's not going to try to kill me. Oh, come on, dude. Wow, what a weenie. He had me. I'm wearing a tier 2 sword, ladies and gentlemen. Like, come on. I was probably going to murder him. I was going to mess him up. He didn't stand a chance. Anyway, he could have turned and just murdered me so hard. But he never fought back. Instead, he chose to run. But you'll see these people they're just blue, and they're not hostile, so we don't have to worry about anything. Now, you'll see this guy here. He's got the little green flag beside his name. We also have the green flag. That means that he's factioned for the same city that we're factioned at. You'll also see these green portals. Now, these green portals are solo dungeons. Now, I doubt I'm going to be able to do too well in this solo dungeon, and it's possibly already cleared. So, Only had time to jump in and say hi. I need to get back to work. Well, take care, Gary. Thanks for stopping in, sir. Just kind of talking about this other game for a little bit, so that those of you that want to watch this content can. I'm going to put it in a separate playlist, so those of you that don't want to watch this content don't have to. Well, we know that someone else is already in here, but these little green zones are zones that are specific, or these little green portals are specifically designed for solo players. Now, it will be a tier 5 dungeon because we're in a tier 5 zone. So if you want to know how that works, you'll see we're in U Wood, and if we reset our camera here and we go to U Wood, we'll see the V here, and it's a yellow zone. Okay, if we want to know more information about it, we'll see that there's 7 hostiles in the zone, and resources have a 19% enchantment rate. There's a percentage chance that there will be certain resources on the map, and what that means is that if you want tier 4 tree, there's also a tier 4.1, 4.2, and 4.3. Basically, a tier 4.1 equals a tier 5, and a tier 4.2 equals tier 6. So it's whatever the enchantment on it is will be like an extra actual tier level, and this goes all the way up to 8.3, which is technically tier 11. Now, hey, it's this guy again. He don't want none. He don't want none. He probably does want some now that he's fully healed. So you'll see all of these people are factioned up and things like that. So there are other. There are a lot of other things you can do here, but because the game has no quest, you pretty much just have to go out and do whatever you want to do. No, FA, it is not Magic the Gathering. What the double hockey sticks is this? This isn't Magic. No, it's a new free-to-play. Well, it's not that new, but it's fairly new. Starting to catch popularity, and it just went free to play a few months back. It just come out of its beta, and now it's the official game. So I've been playing a lot of it in my spare time, and I would like to play maybe once a week for you guys. So I figured I would throw a little content up here for you guys and see how you take it. Some of you will like it and some of you don't, and this is by no means me stopping Magic. I love Magic, and I have always played Magic and played other games, so none of that is going to stop. I've been playing Albion this whole time while still playing Magic, so none of that's going to stop. The only difference is some of the time that I'm normally in my off time playing Albion and not making content or just playing Magic, some of that is going to bleed over into extra content for you guys. So if you want to watch it, you can. If you don't want to watch it, you don't have to. But the content will be there if you guys want to see it. Alright, well, we didn't get killed there, so let's get on our donkey and go somewhere where we're guaranteed to get killed, right? Alright, so that was a yellow zone. Now, in a red zone, if someone is not faction, but if someone has flagged for PvP, like that guy was, who was red, he will they will be able to kill you and take your gear. Now, if we go out into a black zone, you're automatically flagged for PvP. You don't have a choice. If you're in a black zone, you should be ready to fight. The only people you will not enter a black zone as a quest, it's dark in here. Or an achievement. Alright, so you'll see we've got our bubble, and I wonder if we can even make it to... I wonder where we can make it. We can't make it far. We're going to get ganked. Right? Like, somebody is going to take our tier 2 gear if that wolf doesn't just kill us. Okay, there's a open world boss right there. You'll see the little, you'll see the circle around him with the spikes on it. That means he's a relic boss. If it's just a circle, ooh, here we go. This guy will kill us. I'm sure he'll. Oh, come on. I want you guys to see Albion later when you play Magic. This actually looks interesting. You will stay. Well, it's a full loot PvP game, so I'm trying to get someone to kill me, but I don't know why it's not working. Like if I'm on my main character, I can't step foot outside the gate without somebody trying to take my head off. But then again, I normally am wearing much better gear, and it's a lot more profitable to try to kill me. I'm sure that if I just ride down this road for just a moment, there's going to be someone out here just trying to kill people. And as soon as they see me on a donkey, that's going to make me an open target. Come on, come on, come on. Where's the PvPers? There's nobody out ganking today. Man, I need to be out here gathering if there's nobody ganking. What is going on? Let's go check the war camp. Now, in a lot of these zones, you're actually going to see these war camps, and they have chests in them. And this chest is actually available for you. It is your chest. You put stuff here. It's not going anywhere. I'm like the muffin from ASDF movie. Really? Am I okay? I don't get it. So, how much of the world is a black zone, or is it mostly like RuneScape Wilderness, where only a certain portion of the world is PvP? Actually, the majority of the world. So, you have this part that I can almost put on one screen here. Now, this is non-PvP. Well, there's parts of this that are PvP, but none of this is black zone. If you go anywhere up here, all of this. Oh, we're about to get killed. We're about to get killed. Did you hear the footstep? Oh man. Why? What did he do? See my name tag and was like, nope, I'm not gonna be there. Maybe he just rode by. Come on. I was hoping that there'd be somebody out here with like claws or something. You guys could see just how quickly you go from alive to dead. I can't believe this. I can't believe that I'm just riding around on a donkey in the black zone. Like this is a completely safe game, guys. There's no way you're going to lose your gear, you know, out here in the black zones. You're perfectly safe. You're perfectly safe. Apparently, this is ridiculous. Broken. Anyway, do I go back to the same portal? So actually, the only way I can now switch, like I can't even step foot outside the Thetford portal, which is one of the other cities. That's the purple city. If I go back in the green portal, which is the Limhurst portal, if I go back in the green portal, I am locked to that portal. Ooh, that was a person. That was a person. You see him on the corner of the screen? He got away from me though. Where'd he go? Oh, this is a Hellgate right here. This is a 5-man Hellgate, so I'm definitely not going to touch it, but yeah, get away from me, dude. You don't lose your gear if you die to a mob. If you die to a mob, you go down on your knees until you break combat, and then it'll take 15 seconds for your health to come back, and it'll take like 3 or 4 seconds for you to actually stand up, during which time someone could easily just walk up and kill you. This is starting to piss me off that we're not dead yet. But now that I've went through that portal, I can't go through any other portal. Ooh. Maybe there are people over this direction. That's right, dude. I'm chasing you. Why are people running from me? Like, this is ridiculous. I'm in noob gear, and people are running. This is a free 5,000 silver donkey, guys. What is wrong with you? Come take my loot. Fine. Alright, so maybe we're not going to be able to get killed here. You know what? I'll just stand here and talk to you. So this makes you want to go to the black zone. Yeah, go ahead. Hopefully you'll have as much luck as I've had. Oh, this dude's dismounted. Watch. As soon as I get close, he's going to remount. Nope, maybe he won't. Oh, he remounted. He don't want none. He don't want none. Tier 2 gonna come get him. Now you can't inspect these guys. He's wearing Tier 6.1 gear. Yeah, yeah, come on. Tier 6.1 gear. Yeah. Ah, he ain't gonna do it. Now notice I'm trying to stay inside the circle of my donkey so that I can get back on it. I can't believe that this guy's not trying to kill me. I don't get it. He could kill me in like 2 hits. This is... Everybody's run. I found the secret to Albion, guys. You ride a donkey wearing Tier 2 gear and no one will kill you. Oh my goodness. This is... I've never had so much trouble trying to get killed. Normally I'm trying to run for my life. Wow. This is straight ridiculous. Alright, well, we're not going to be able to show this, I don't think. Maybe try to die to a mob and see if anyone takes advantage. Oh, that's a good idea. Get you, piggy. Maybe this will work. Maybe we'll get down here and, you know, somebody will try to take advantage here, so... I don't know, maybe I'm just a beast. Maybe we're just going to take these pigs down. I'm confused, guys. I don't know what to think. I think it's a trick that I'm super high level with noob gear and a donkey, right? Maybe that's what it is. Collect all the things you need and put it in your chest. Can I trade items between characters? Absolutely. So the entire game, like, so when the servers first loaded up, there was no buildings in the cities, right? There were plots of land. People got those plots of land and then started building. Ooh, this guy wants some. No, guess not. Maybe I'm just not worth anyone's time. Maybe that's what it... Oh. Huh, come here. Come here. Aww, whatever. Yeah, okay, he's coming back. And he leaves. Alright, so I'm just not worth it. That's what it is. I'm just not worth the trouble. Is he going to dismount? No, he's not going to dismount. I think what they're afraid of is that I have like a tier 8 poison, because you can use the maximum level poisons and food at immediately. So I think they might be afraid that I might happen to have a tier 8 poison, and as soon as they dismount, I'm going to throw a tier 8 poison at them with you know, some little buff or something and just nuke them, which could potentially happen. I mean, I could get them very low because of it. So maybe it's because I'm not leaving my mount. Okay, so I'm not playing like a noob. Okay, that's what it is. Maybe that is what it is. Alright, so yes, you can trade between players. Like, everything in the game is tradable. So we'd be able to trade, and I could give him something if I wanted to. I could give him silver and things like that. You can actually buy gold. That's the premium currency here in this particular game. You can buy gold, but you can actually use silver, which is the secondary currency in the game. You can use silver to buy gold. Tier 1 Jank invited you for a trade. Accept. See, there we go. Tier 1 Jank is a new player, so let's help him out, right? Let's give the guy 100,000 silver, and I'm not going to do this to every new player. But this will help him get started in the game. So I'm going to throw a little silver his way. Is he going to take it? I'm offering 100,000 silver here. All you got to do is take it, Jank. There you go. Alright, so now Tier 1 Jank's got 100,000 silver in. Tier 1 Jank. Where is Tier 1 Jank? Where'd he go? He took his silver, and he is probably... No, okay, there he is. Alright. Maybe we duel against Tier 1 Jank. Here we go. We'll duel. Now, in duels, we can set a wager, right? I'm going to wager him 3,000 silver that I can beat him, right? Oh, Tier 1 Jank's going to accept my fight. And here we go. Alright. So, we're fighting. Alright, so let's go ahead and hit that reflect. So, yeah. Let's knock him back. Oh, it didn't work. It didn't work. Oh, are we just going to stand here and beat Jank? He got us. He got us. All right. It's a trick, Jank. He's going to kill you now. What was Jank wearing? What did we get killed by? All right. So Tier 1 Jank was wearing, the Life Curse Staff. So Tier 1 Jank's got the Warlock build going on here. The Warlock build... Nah, dude, get out of here. The Warlock build is, it's used as a staff that's a curse, and it's just like your classic Warlock. Looks like Jank is wearing some Adept Hunter jacket, so he's wearing a leather jacket. Now you'll notice that the leather jackets do give you an attack bonus, whereas cloth gear will give you more attack bonus. So the lighter gear you're wearing, the more you can attack. The heavier the gear you're wearing, the less your damage is going to be. So a lot of times you'll see DPS wearing either leather or cloth. How did I add silver? I just clicked down there and typed it in. So yeah, the lower, the lighter the actually it's not PC only. You can get this on an Android phone. You can get it on an Apple. You got to actually have an account, and then you can play it on Mac. You can play it on PC. You got to get an account first on their website. Just click the link in the description box. Go set up an account, and you can actually request it to be on Android. They haven't fully released it on Android yet. It hasn't completely been approved through the Google Marketplace or the Apple Marketplace, but you can personally download it from the company. You'll have to apply for it, and they'll send you an email, and then you can actually play it on your phone. It's the same game. You'll notice that it's only got a few buttons, so you don't have to have some crazy phone so that you can type and do all this other stuff. All you need is your phone, and you can even play this on a controller if you want to set it up. No, it's not on console yet, but if it ever does come to console, then heaven forbid, we're gonna have some fun, because it actually looks like it'd be easy to set up for console, because you only have so many buttons in your loadout, right? Like there's 6 major buttons that you're going to use. You've got your Q ability, which is your spammable attack on most weapons. You got your W ability, which is your specialty ability. This, in most weapons, your specialty ability is going to be you're going to actually have more options on your W than you will on anything else. I only have a tier 2 sword, so I don't really have a lot of options. And then on your W ability, like that'll be the weapon specialty. You'll then have your armor ability. You'll then have your helmet ability, and then your boots ability. Other than that, you'll have a poison or potion. Most of the time we use poisons, but there's other potions that you could use. Oh my goodness, everybody, I'm ungilded, so everybody's trying to invite me to a guild. If you join a guild, you can't join another guild for 48 hours. There's no guild hopping in this game. So if you join a guild, you can leave that guild immediately, but you can't join another one for 48 hours. If you've been in that guild for more than 48 hours, you can immediately leave a guild and join another one. Can I use a poison on someone to show that? Yeah, absolutely. Let's go grab a poison. Yeah, we'll show that really quick. And you also have food. So you have a food, which is your buff, and then you have a potion, which will either be a poison, a healing potion, a mana potion, that sort of thing. So Similar to how Dungeon Fighter Online works. Uh, I've never played Dungeon Fighter Online, but okay. You've got an offhand slot, and then you have a cape, and then you have a bag, and the bag's going to determine, you know, your weight capacity, how much you can carry here in your inventory. You do have a limited number of slots in your inventory, but more than most things, you're actually you know, hindered by weight. Depending on how much weight you can carry will be the important factor. Now, most of the time, your mount will increase your max carry load, and on your boots you will also have the option as a passive to increase your maximum carry load, so you'll be able to carry more based on that. Now when we do go over here and look at poisons, so if we look at poisons, there's tier 4 poisons. The poisons go 4, 6, 8, right? And then certain foods will go 4, 6, 8. Other foods will go 3, 5, 7. So certain foods and certain poisons and potions will skip, right? So if we want a poison, it's 4, 6, 8. If we want a potion, it's going to be I think it's 1, 3, 5, 7. I don't think there's a, yeah, I think that's how it works. So we can get some poisons here. These are really cheap, 975 silver a piece. But if we wanted maybe a little bit better of a poison, right, we can go down here and we can get a tier 6 poison, right? A tier 6 poison, we'll buy that. And then let's go look at a tier 8 poison. Now this one's 12,000 silver for a single tier 8 poison. And I know that may sound like a lot when you first start the game, but if we can find tier 1 jank, which I assume that he's probably still up top. Let's see if we can find him. I know that I added him to my friends list, so let's invite him to party. Someone's dancing in the street and clapping where we fought. That does happen. Alright, so let's go ahead and put our tier 4 poison on here. We'll see if tier 1 jank will duel us, and we'll see if this helps, right? So we'll go to duel. And all we're going to do here is we're going to start fighting. We throw our poison at him and then go to work, right? Like, so the poison's going to give us the extra damage that we need. And if we see him start casting, we're actually going to save our W ability this time. So if he does try to cast, we should be able to take him down. Now, don't forget to hit your space button when you're dueling, because you want to make sure that auto attack's going off, right? Alright, so a poison really helped us out, right? And that helped us you know, do a ton more damage. Now this time we're gonna try a bigger poison. That's right, I'm just gonna throw 12k away. If jank will duel us one more time, and we'll set the wager at 0 here. I'm not even gonna worry about my life. I just want to show the difference here in a higher level poison. We do have a little bit left on our cooldown, so maybe he won't kill us before our cooldown's up. Alright, so now we're just going to throw a tier 8 poison on him. And this is going to make things a lot faster. He may still kill us. Nope. So tier 8 poison didn't help as much as I thought. Like, just the tier 4 poison seemed to be enough. But I mean, yeah, people dancing in the street, that's a thing. I mean, you can /dance, and you can do the silly little dance, and then of course there's sit. You can sit down and wave, you know, that sort of thing. So poison definitely helps. Here you go, jank. Oh, he's too far away. Here's you a couple poisons so that you can, thank you for the duels. You can take those with you and go. What is he doing? There you go. Take those with you and go have some fun. So yeah, all of these things are important, and there are definitely a lot of things that will help you guys if you do decide to start playing the game. One of the biggest tips that a lot of people aren't going to understand when they first start playing. Let's go back over to the Destiny board, right? Now, you don't want to start getting into zones that are higher than your Reaver level. Now, you'll see here that when you first start, you've kind of got these multiple lines that you can go up. When you first start, you're a trainee fighter, and then you'll go to journeyman Reaver, and then you'll move on to adept, expert, master, grandmaster, that sort of thing, all the way up to an elder Reaver. And if you read these abilities, the passive bonus is damage versus creatures tier 8 or higher is increased by 100%. If you go back and look at, say, expert Reaver, damage versus creature tier 5 or higher is increased by 45%. Now, that also has defenses versus creatures tier 5 or higher increased by 31%. If you don't have a high enough defense, where does it list the zones level? If you don't have enough defense, then and you go to a zone that's higher than your current Reaver level, then those monsters are going to hit a lot harder than you. There's a couple different ways that you can check the zone level. You can actually click the monster, and right here where the little roll is, there'll be Roman numerals that will tell you the level of that monster, which normally is the level of that zone. Otherwise, you can hit the M button, which will bring up your big map. And on the big map, you'll be able to see these little scrolls that say the name of each cluster, and the Roman numerals beside that cluster tell you, what level that zone is. It'll tell you if it's a blue zone, if it's a red zone, if it's a yellow zone, and if we go up here, black zone. Now the black zones have these skulls in them, and that's because if you step foot out into the black zone, you're dead for sure. Well, we proved that one, didn't we? I'm tier 1 Jenks tutorial PC. Or tutorial NPC. Right, there you go. Well, there are no quests in the game, so if you want quests, then that's you pretty much just have to come up with your own content. We have a saying here in Albion, everything is content. I personally say that the price of content is gear, because most decent content, you're going to be risking your gear. And that's kind of how the game goes. If we do go back to the map and to the zones, you'll see that once you step foot into the higher level zones, you're going to have access to higher tier resources. Here we see tier 6 resources, everything from tier 4 up to tier 6 in this particular zone. You're not going to find anything higher than tier 6 in anything other than red and black zones. Like, you're not going to be able to find tier 6 and 6.1 in a yellow zone. If you want to stay in the yellow zones and the blue zones and stay safe so you don't lose your gear, the maximum level resources that you're going to be able to find is going to be tier 5, 5.3. So if you want tier 6 stuff, you're going to have to step out there where it's dangerous, and you're risking a lot more, because you're risking your gear in order to get that. But I'll show you why. So if we go down here, we'll go to the market, because everything you don't need that you find in the world, you're going to want to sell. If you want to go out and gather, you're going to want to sell that so that you can get the things that you do want. And this game's all about, buying and selling on the market. So let's say that we were gathering logs, right? A tier 1 log is worth 14 silver. And we'll say a tier 4. Those are pretty abundant. You can get tier 4, you can get tier 5 in safe areas. So, A tier 4 log is only 48 silver, whereas a tier 5 log is 455 silver. Now that'll vary, of course, this is the current market. You start getting into tier 6, 583, moving on to tier 7, 2,000 per log, and then tier 8, almost 10,000 silver per log. So if you want to make if you're wanting to make a lot of silver in this game, focus your gathering. Now, that's one of the hardest things in the world. But once you start going down on the gathering tree, and that's your blue line right here, right? Once you start going down on the gathering tree, you're going to see that you can gather via fishing, you can gather via harvesting fiber, you can mine for ore, you can skin animals for leather, you can hack down trees for lumber, and then you can smash up rocks for stone. And it will cost you learning points to jump from one tier to another. And now this is the part that a lot of people mess up on, and I see it happen constantly, and it is really hard to keep yourself from pushing that button. But let's go take a look at something really quick. If you look up here at the top, you'll see that I have learning points. Learning points can be used to finish your progress on your Destiny board nodes. Premium characters passively get 20 learning points per day. Non-premium characters can earn 10 learning points via their Adventurer's Daily Challenge. So that's one of the big perks to having premium is if you have premium, you will gain things slightly faster than if you didn't have premium. So they do want you to pay, but nothing is locked off because you didn't pay. All right. So if you wanna stay free to play, and you do your Adventurers Challenge, which is get 1,200 of these keys each day. You guys have seen me do almost nothing, and we've already gotten 24. If I was out actually gathering, we would get even more and things like that. It takes no time, and you get these experience books for doing this. Plus, it will give you 50,000 more keys and experience and your 10 learning points each day, which will go towards unlocking your chest. So you'll see here if we go out and get 1,200 keys, we will get 50,000 keys to go towards our chest here. And then if we unlock the chest, it'll have all kinds of goodies in it. Most of the time, some high-level enchanted resources that are worth a lot. Normally a couple bags of silver that are worth a lot, and maybe a couple experience books. And you can find these experience books, but you'll notice that most of the experience books have this little icon up in the top corner, which means that they're soulbound. If you see this little icon up in the top corner, that means that that item is one of the few items that will stay on your body even if you die. So like no one can take a soulbound item. It is not tradable, and there are very few things that are soulbound. So but these particular books are soulbound. So now you also have the guild challenge, which is something new. Now I won't be able to show you guys this with a particular character because I'm not in a guild. And once the season starts, this basically will allow you to gain season points for your guild by doing your everyday activities. So how do I use the book? You click the book. So you would click the book, and then here.
Buying or selling?
There's one book that can be bought, and that's a tier 4. Now I'm not going to use it, but I will show you guys how to use it. They're 40k a piece.
Bought everything?
You just click the book, and up in the top corner here there will be a button that says use. Now I'll save this later for helping me like jump from like tier 2 swords to tier 3 swords or something. 40,000 will help you get from like tier 2 to tier 3, but 40,000 will barely touch anything else. So so we'll just toss that up there. Maybe I should have been using... I wasn't using a shield. Of course I didn't have a cape, a backpack, all of these things. So now, let's get fully dressed here. Even get us some carrot soup. Right? A little bit of carrot soup there. But yeah, that's basically the gist of it. I mean, hopefully you guys have some other questions or something, and maybe I'll try to answer those for you. But the game's pretty cool. I think a lot of you guys will like it. If you want to check it out, check it out. I will be more than happy to help any of you that are part of my audience. If you do want to try it, I'll be more than happy to kind of help you get started, get your foot in the door there. Probably won't be able to give everyone 100,000 silver, but you know, we can find something that'll help you out. Maybe at least get you a cheap set of gear or something like that. It's not a real big deal. But once you do level up higher, make sure that you are focusing your gathering. And as far as learning points go, I was about to mention that earlier. Don't spend your learning points on anything else. Like, if we go up here, we'll see that we can probably pay 7 learning points to go to tier 2 of artifact helmets, of artifact cloth helmets here, right? Of this particular one. We could spend that 7 learning points to do that. Here's why I'm going to tell you not to do that. Because as you start advancing from your gathering tiers, you're not going to use them to go from tier 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5. You're going to use them to go, or from specialization 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5. You're going to use them to go from tiers. Like, this is being able to gather tier 3 wood and above. This will allow you to gather tier 4 wood and above, and it costs 35 learning points to be able to jump to that. And then 117 learning points, 234 learning points, 351 learning points, a massive 400 learning points to be able to start. You just downloaded it on your Android. You're starting right now. Awesome, dude. That is awesome. Well, like, hopefully you'll have it downloaded here soon and be able to check it out. That's awesome. I hope you enjoy it. You'll have to work your way through the tutorial. That'll take you about an hour. And I highly recommend that you take your time in the tutorial. Like, figure it out, play with what you want to play with, and that sort of thing. Kind of have you an idea of what type of character you want to be. And, don't think about, like, what will be good in the world and all this other things. Just think about what you want to play with. And then just go play that. Now, of course, you're going to eventually get into a guild, and they're going to be like, well, look, man, we need you out for ZVZs, and we're going to need you here. Anyone who's ever played an MMORPG understands that there are raid times and things like that. And if you want to be in those raids, then there is a meta, and there are things that they're going to want you to use. And most of the time, you can get away with just, like, having a longbow. A longbow build. The longbow is just an AoE build, and yeah. I'm into magic and gathering. That's pretty good. Tier 1 jank. He's into magic and he's into gathering. There you go. That wasn't supposed to be that funny, but I find it hilarious. But yeah, I mean, bow builds are really, really good if you want to get into, more in-game content. But they're not like the greatest at dueling and things like that. As you level them up, they can become a lot better. Most weapons will unlock a special ability at a very high level. Like, this is Ray of Light. It is the super powerful ability that is on all bows, but you don't actually unlock it until you have leveled bows up to level 70. Once your bows are level 70, you'll have access to Ray of Light. Now, if you're using an artifact bow, you'll have access to it at a lower tier bow. But if you're using, say, a like just the plain bow, you'll notice that ray of light is not there on an expert's bow. But as soon as you just go to a master's bow, ray of light is there, so you will have to own at least a tier 6 bow to be able to use it on some of those. But you can actually have access to it as early as tier 4 with an artifact bow. I don't think it's available on the other artifact bow though. It's on the wailing bow and the Madden bow. The whispering bow doesn't have access to it. So bows are really good. Like look into some ZVZ builds and things like that if you decide that you want to try to go for some real in-game content. But if you want to just kind of piddle around, have some fun with a really cool MMO, Albion's really great for that. So he was buying dummy stuff last night. You went into a dungeon and all his stuff got wrecked. Well, if your stuff does get, there's a repair guy in town. So, I mean, you can always just go to the repair guy. I'll show you guys what the repair guy looks like. And then I'll show you the town itself. Probably won't be able to see the repair guy. He's so surrounded. Here he is. He's this dude sitting right here. He's always like, broke your stuff again. And then he gripes because you're always breaking things, like any good smith would, right? So these are the few NPCs in the game. There's the repair guy, there's the artifact foundry, which artifacts are a resource that you can find. That's one of the few things that you, like, again, it's a resource. It's not something that, you know, is player made. You find them in their parts to weapons. So what is this? This is Albion Online, Michael. It's a MMORPG that I play in my spare time, and I figured if I do play it in my spare time, then maybe I could play it a little bit for you guys as well and throw a little extra content at you guys. I will be putting these videos in their own playlist, so for those of you that don't want to see it, you don't have to watch it, but those of you that do want to see it, it'll be there, right? So yeah, it's kind of like WoW-like and League of Legends mixed together with apparently Dungeon Fighter and a couple other things, but it also has some aspects that you have never seen before in any other MMO. So like the black market auction house, I mentioned that earlier, where you go out and kill a monster and he drops a helmet. That helmet was created by a player, but yet you got it from a monster, because in Carleon, which is the center or the central city of the Royal Continent, there's the black market auction house. Now, because the black market auction house is in Carleon, and because the marketplace of Martlock and Bridgewatch and the other surrounding cities are not connected, you might be able to go to like Bridgewatch and find that fiber is really, really cheap in Bridgewatch, whereas when you go over to Martlock, you might find that fiber is really, really expensive. So you may come up with the bright idea that I'm going to buy a bunch of fiber in Bridgewatch and I'm going to take it over to Martlock and sell it. Well, in order to do that, you could go through the safe zones, right? Like you could go blue zone, into a yellow zone, then all the way back down into another blue zone, over into another blue zone, this blue zone, into this blue zone, and safely get your goods over to Martlock where you could sell them. And it would take a while. And that would be a long trip. And there you go, risk versus reward. If you increase the risk, you will be able to get there much quicker. You could go from Bridgewatch into a blue zone, through the tunnel, red zone, through another tunnel, right back into a blue zone. So if you're willing to cross a single red zone, you could get your goods there a lot faster. The quicker you can make more trips, the more money you'll be able to make. So you're trying to drag my map on YouTube. I've done that. Trying to like zoom in on somebody's stuff, like scrolling or something like that. I've done that. It's like I want to see this. I want to see this. Can't do it. So yeah, everything in this game is about risk and reward. So it's actually really fun. You can make silver. There's so many different ways that you can do things in this game. Maybe you don't want to be a PvPer and you just want to go out and gather and make the best items that you can possibly make. You can do that. Like I said, everything in this game can be made. Everything in this game is made. Everything in this game is player owned. Like even if we look at the local city, you'll see all of these plots here, right? And sometimes you'll see plots for sale, where people are wanting to sell them, but you'll see that they're actually owned by individual people. That top line up there, this is a tier 8 Elder Weaver's hut, and it's owned by Vinline. You can set taxes on it. There's a usage fee. There's a a fee for associates. It has durability. The NPC that works at that building has to have food, and if he doesn't have food, then he ain't gonna work. You have to keep the durability up on it, like so. You have to upkeep your building, but for owning that building, you get to set a tax, and everything that is used at that particular building, you will be able to receive that tax, and that'll help you, pay for the upkeep of that building, or even pay to make sure that you can keep your plot. These plots do go available for. Why are these empty? Do go available for auction once per month. There's an auction, and the highest bidder will be able to own those plots. Now you'll normally have to pay a lot more for a plot in the center of town than you would a plot way out here at the edge of town, right? I'm gonna have to go check out and see why these are empty. That's super weird. Here's an empty one close by. Maybe the auction was just recently. Yeah, I've gotta check this out. I have to know why the spot is empty. It's gonna bug me. I'm just using N to bring up the local map. So yeah, this spot is empty. Current lease ends in 25 days. Time until the next auction. The next auction will start in 18 days. Alwarez has ownership of this particular plot, and it just seems that Alwarez hasn't actually built a building on it. So there you go. Here's another plot. You'll see that Oberon owns this particular building. We don't have access to it, so there's nothing we can do there. But we could go up and actually talk to the weaver, and if we had the raw materials, we would then be able to turn those raw materials into like cloth and things like that. So let's see. Is there anything else that like? There's a million things that I want to tell new players, and I can't think of them at the given time. So, get you an ox. Definitely get you an ox when you first get started. Tier 1 Jenks got his ox right there, and that'll help you hold a lot more so that you can make more out of your time while you're out gathering. But the big one is just don't split your focus and don't waste your learning points. You're only going to get so many learning points, per day. And you're going to need all of those as you get started. So pick your focus and start doing your gathering. If you want to gather stone, gather stone. If you want to gather wood, gather wood. But at least to get one of them to say tier 6 before you start on the next one. And just kind of focus. Now, I guess in the beginning you could get them all to tier 4 because that actually won't take very long at all. Get them all to adept. That actually won't take long. The big leap is going from adept to expert, and then from expert to master fiber or master. So it costs 500,000 experience, and that experience has to be received from from chopping, you know, chopping whichever resource you're trying to get. Only 140 to get to only 140,000 to get to tier 5, and it's only 30,000 to get to tier 4. So like I said, I mean, if you want to get them all to tier 4, that's not a big deal, and then that'll let you kind of have, you know, access to be able to at least get your hands on some materials of all different types. But then from that point forward, I highly recommend that you specialize. Truly pick what you want and go from there. You've been focusing on the 3 resources in your zone since there's so much close together. That's a decent piece of advice in the beginning when you know you're out like gathering those goods. But as you actually start getting up into the higher tiers, once you get above tier 4 and you start gathering tier 5 resources, you'll be able to start wearing your gathering gear. Okay, so what is gathering gear? There's a helmet, there's a chest piece, there's boots, and then there's a cape. The cape is one of the important ones. It will reduce the weight of your resource by 30%, right? So this only reduced the weight of tier 4 resources. You'll have to have a tier 5 cape to be able to reduce the weight of tier 5 resources and things like that. But as you level up your gathering, you'll actually gain access to these different levels of gathering gear. So once you start getting your gathering gear, you'll be able to put on a tier 4 pair of gathering boots. And once you put on that, you will start increasing your gathering yield. So one chop used to get you 1 piece of wood, now it'll get you 2 pieces of wood, that sort of thing. So you'll want to put on all 3 pieces of your gathering gear so that you're gathering more of that resource, and you'll want to have the backpack on so you can hold more of that resource every time you go out into the wilderness. So that's a huge piece of advice right there. Make sure that you're wearing your gathering gear. And then there's also a specialty food, which is called a pie. There's chicken pie, there's goose pie, there's pork pie, and those different pies will increase your gathering yield and increase your weight capacity. So make sure that you have a pie on you. And then the last thing about gathering there are journals, and you can buy those journals at the market most of the time. If you're going to be gathering wood, make sure you have a lumberjack journal in your bags, and you'll basically fill that journal up. And it's actually profitable to buy empty journals off the auction house. Take that journal, just carry it with you in your bags. You go out on your gathering run and you'll fill that journal up. After you fill that journal up, bring it back to the auction house, and you'll be able to sell that journal for some profit, buy you some more journals, and go back out and fill those up. And it's an extra way to make some profit. Now, you won't actually need those journals unless you end up getting an island, and an island's like your own private town. You can build all of the things that you see in this town, you can have on your island, and that's basically what an island is. Now, in order to have an island, we have an island here. I bought it, but I haven't actually done anything with it. So it's a blank island. But if we want to, we can go out and visit the island, and we'll see that we'll have some blank spots, and in those blank spots we can actually, you know, build our own building. So we don't have to actually use the taxable buildings in town. Now, granted, in town, if you go to make a staff, you can get some of your resources back. Okay, so if it costs, let's say it costs, you know, 16 wood and 8 cloth to make a staff, you could get some of those resources back. You're going to get a percentage of those resources back, but it's going to cost you the tax amount. Now, if you build those same buildings here on your island, which you'll get more and more plots the more you upgrade your island, if you build those same resources here on your island, or those same resource buildings on your island, you will not get resources back, but you won't have to pay tax. So if you're wanting to save the silver, you can by not paying the tax, but I highly recommend that you specialize your islands. With islands, there's three major things that you can do, and the biggest one is farm. All right, so you have these farm plots here, and the farm plots will allow you to either, I think it's H, yeah, there we go. So with farming, we can build an alchemist lab, we can butchers, we can build a saddler, we can build a farm, we can build an herb garden or a pasture. So these are the major ones here: farm, herb garden, pasture, and kennel. Kennels will allow you to raise exotic pets, which will then be turned into mounts. Like you've seen some guys riding wolves. Wolves are some of the fastest mounts in this game, and are normally used for ganking. So if a pack of wolf riders come riding up beside you, well, good luck getting away. And you can get the pups to raise in your kennel by going out and killing wolves. It's a small percent chance to drop, but your kennel will allow you to actually raise those pups. Pastures will allow you to raise horses and donkeys, sheep, goats, that sort of thing, geese, and these can be used for either cooking or for making, rideable horses and ox, because unlike World of Warcraft, where once you have a mount, you have it forever. If someone kills me, if someone would have killed me, we would have lost our donkey. Our donkey is just an item. Tier 1 Jenks ox is just an item. I was watching a video on direwolf pup farming earlier. Pup farming is very, very profitable because it may take you an hour of farming to find one pup, but that pup will be worth anywhere between 200 and 400,000 silver, depending on the current price of the market. So it can be really, really profitable to go out and pup farm. That being said, if you go out and find places that are high in wolves, there's a good chance that you're going to find someone else out there pup farming. So you can also farm for stags. You can farm for. I've had a really poor time at getting stag drops, though. Leveling my leatherworking, I've killed stags for days on end, and I just never really got any little fawns. But you can find them, so the danger is dire, right? As far as herb gardens go, it's exactly what you would think. You plant herbs. As far as the farm goes, it's exactly what you think. You can plant everything from peas to corn. So we have carrot seeds, bean seeds, wheat seeds, turnip seeds, cabbage seeds, potato seeds, corn seeds, and then finally pumpkin seeds. When you get into the herbs, you've got arcane agaric, and I butchered that, bright leaf. You've got some burdock, dragon thistle, foxglove, fire touched, what is that, mullein seeds. And then you got ghoul yarrow as the tier 8 plant there. So you can grow all of these different things, and like I was saying, I recommend that you specialize your islands, because there's three major things that you can do on an island. You can either have your island set up to raise mounts, where you'll need some farmland to raise carrots or whatever to feed your mounts, because you have to feed them. If you want to raise them, ghoul yarrow sounds delicious, doesn't it? Yeah, like some ghoul yarrow. Anyway, like you can set your island up for growing mounts. You can set it up for cooking, which is extremely profitable. The most profitable part of cooking is fishing, though. So if you're going to go fishing, I highly recommend setting your island up to be a cook. This way you can grow all the things you need to cook high level foods, as long as you can fish for those high level foods. It's so tiny on your phone, it's hard to read. You don't have a PC set up anymore, Jeff? I can't believe that. What happened, man? It just crashed, or you like packed it up and just haven't played it much? I don't recommend going out into the PvP zones with a phone unless you like have a tablet or something like that. Like unless it's a little bit bigger, I really wouldn't go out into the PvP zones. Although I've heard of people that are awesome with their tablets and stuff. So um, a lot of people also play this on virtual machines, so that they actually have the game running on a virtual machine. And there's nothing wrong with that either. So there's a lot of different ways you can do it. But talking about the farms again, if you're going to fish, I highly recommend that you set up for food, because high tier food can be anywhere between 50 and 100,000 per food, and 8.1 food is like 100,000 silver per food, and that's money in the bank. I'm telling you, that's money in the bank. If you can produce the stuff to do it, you are like you're going to be set. The other thing is mounts. Mounts are always selling, just because people, they don't want to walk everywhere they go. They want to be on a mount. So they're going to take a mount out there, and because of the way things trash, there's mounts leave the game, so there's always a need for mounts. And if you want to set up for making potions and poisons and things like that, you're going to want to be an herbalist. You'll need some herbs, and you'll need some food for each of those. So there's quite a few different ways you can set it up. My main character is actually set up for mounts. I raise horses, oxen, and dire boars. As of right now, I'm raising these boars. That's pretty cool. Matter of fact, you know what? I know it's the Adventures of Livestream, but we'll see if we can jump over, and I'll go check out my. I hope I'm in an area that I can do so. I may not be in an area where I can do it. We might show you how to lose $1 million real quick. Yes! Jump over to the main character. Yeah, we're going to show you how to lose $1 million. Me and my battle axe. Love this. Our great axe. I love this great axe. See, I've already unlocked the chest this month. So, all right, I'm in Carleon. All this awesome gear here. Just throw all of that in our bags. That mount right there costs like 300,000. It's a cat. He's pretty fast. Only thing faster than the cat, that particular cat, is the wolf and other cats. So, all right. Let me go to the travel planner, and we'll go to my island. Actually, we can just go to the island planner right here.
Oh, sweet home.
My island's off the coast of Limhurst, so I have to be naked to travel there. Now, if I was in Limhurst, I could travel to my island wearing gear. I have a little chest right here that I keep my ox in, just for these special occasions right here. Don't want to be walking all over the place. Alright, so looks like I've got some wheat planted here, so we can gather some wheat. Now this is a maximum level island. Now I don't have all of my buildings maxed out, but I do have all of the available slots. One thing I do recommend is you do all of your gathering before you start replanting. Looks like we've got a baby ox available, so we can pick up mama. Looks like we'll also have to feed all of these oxen. So we'll just go ahead and place the baby back down there. I'll do all that later. But we've got boar. The boars are ready. Yay. Aw, no baby. Alright, no baby. No baby. No baby. No baby from that one either. 4 boars and no babies. So, yeah, I've got 4 tame wild boars. That makes a lot of sense, right? Tame wild boars. Boars eat meat too. You can't feed them. You'll see these little hands over the top of the creatures and stuff, and that's nurturing. You gain focus points each day. I've got potatoes planted over here, so we can take our potatoes. And the reason I say gather everything before you replant is because you'll level your cooking and stuff up before, your planting up, which means it'll cost less focus to actually water your crops. Now you won't have to worry about this unless you have premium. Only premium accounts are allowed to have an island, and I know that sounds horrible, but there are like tons of videos out there to show you how to get to premium in that 3-day free premium trial. Why do I have to be naked? The reason I have to be naked is because if you were allowed to just wear gear and travel from one city to another for free, that would be a free way to get goods from this city to another city, and this game's not about that. If you want to take goods from one city to another, you need to travel with those goods, and you need to risk those goods. This game is all about trying to force you out into the areas where you could potentially get killed, so that there's risk and reward involved. So if you're not naked, they're going to charge you a luggage fee for all the goods that you have on you. That'll just about make it not worth carrying those goods. If you don't have anything on you, though, there's no luggage fee and you get to travel for free. And that's why a lot of times you'll see people travel naked. That's also why you'll see people have multiple sets of gear in different towns. A lot of times you'll see, people have their setup for when they're gathering fiber over in the fiber city, Thetford, and then when they want to go gather leather, they'll strip down. Yeah, you do your fast travel naked, and then you slow travel with items. Absolutely, that's the best way you could possibly say that. Good on you there. So yeah, that's basically the gist of it. Alright, so let's go ahead and plant these. I did have wheat planted here and then potatoes at the other one, and I just swapped it, but it's not like it matters. As long as I'm still planting my wheat and potatoes. Alright, so now you'll see that I have 30,000 focus points, which means I need to use some of them because 30 is the max. And I'm using my focus points here to water my crops. Now, what does that mean? It will increase my projected seed yield, right? So if we look at this potato, I've got an 87% chance at getting my seed back from this potato. I know potatoes don't grow from seeds, but moving on, of getting my seed back from this potato. If I water it, I now have a 113% chance of getting a seed. So there'll be times where I'll actually get 2 seeds. Now, one of the reasons I grow potatoes is because they got an 87% chance, and a lot of times I won't even water them. I'll plant them and take my chances with the 13%, right? But once you have potatoes and wheat and things like that, you can then feed your livestock, and then you can nurture your livestock. Now, nurturing your livestock will increase its chance at getting offspring. Even if you don't, like, if you just want to grow carrots and you're buying the carrot seeds, that's fine. The big one is when it comes to not nurturing the mounts. If you don't nurture the mounts, you're probably not going to get a baby off of that mount. And if you start looking at some of these prices, it's 135. What? No, sorry. 675,000 silver to buy a tier 6 ox calf. No, thank you. I do not want to have to do that every time I raise an ox. So I am going to nurture it. Now I've got a 93% chance, and you can get that higher and higher because it'll take a few days to actually be able to raise it. I bet I can't. I bet I don't even have enough food on me to finish doing this. I don't. Alright, well, either way, I'll need to go get some more food. I have all that stuff sitting around, but yeah, this is my mains island. I also have an alt that is set up. I bought 1 month of premium because you don't have to continue to have premium on an island or to maintain an island. You have to have premium to actually get. Can we make some Russian potato juice? Actually, yes. All right. So if we jump over to Frisha's island, which is my alt, Frisha is my potion maker, right? Like this particular character is. Her island is set up specifically for making potions. And you'll see here that I've got goats for milk and geese for eggs. And then I've got herbs. I got some turnips, more herbs. And then when we come over here to the alchemist shop, you'll see that you can make potato schnapps. So, I mean, potato schnapps is almost Russian potato juice, right? We can make potato schnapps, and then later you can make corn moonshine. Let's see if I can. I'm sure that's on the Destiny board. Let's see here. Yeah, here we go. So you can make potato schnapps. You can make corn hooch. And then you can make pumpkin moonshine. I bet some pumpkin moonshine would be pretty good. But these are all ingredients and other things. So you need an alchemist to be able to make. I mean, it takes an alchemist to make some good moonshine. You know what I mean? All right. Anyway, so you know, I highly recommend that if you're allowed 3 characters on your account, you set one of your islands up for growing mounts. You set one of them up for potions and one of them up for food, and you'll be set, right? Like, don't spread them around and do a whole bunch of other things. Another thing that you can do is you can take you'll see I have houses here. I even have my own little repair table here in case I want to repair. You can build banks, right? And put chests in your houses. These chests will allow you to store goods and things like that. You also have your chest in the major cities, but you can just go to your access rights and you can give access rights to your other characters and things like that. You can give access rights to your friends. Like I could take this particular chest and I could say, let's give let's make tier 1 jank a user on this particular. Oh, okay. I'm not the owner of this chest. Okay, I would have to be on Frisha to make him a user here, but I could potentially give him access rights to not only to come to my island, but I could also give him access rights to this chest, and anything I left in this chest, he could just come pick it up. And there's a lot of people that do that. I have friends that do that. They're like, oh, I left it in the community chest on the island, right? And you'll just, like, because there's, otherwise you can't send stuff in the mail to each other, because again, transporting goods from one area to another, so you can't send stuff in the mail. So a lot of times we'll have community chests amongst friends on our islands. So you can go in and say, hey, look, you know, these people have access to get here, that sort of thing. Why doesn't Frisha have access? Oh, this is Frisha's island. That's why. Okay. But yeah, we could set up community chest. How can you use a chest if you can't go to your island? Well, I would have to actually go. I would actually have to go to my island. Well, here, let me show you. All right, so we will go to Kilo's island. And then we'll say visitor tier 1 jank. Oh, I bet I didn't save it. Yeah, I did. Okay. So tier 1 jank is now allowed to visit this island. And then we'll say, but I have a chest up here. Let's see. Jank, if you see me in the top left hand corner of the island, there are a couple chests. I'm going to give you access to the I'm going to give you access to my gatherers here, so you can turn your books in and things like that and come back and pick them up. But you can also buy journals. This is the whole point of journals. Can friends come and nurture your animals? They can. You can have friends come nurture your animals. You can have friends. You can basically, you have to give access rights, but as long as you give access rights, then yeah, they can nurture them. But that also means that they could potentially pick them up and harvest them and take off with them. So key word there being friends. So if I wanted to go to like custom here, I could just say that tier 1 jank. Public's new to me. I haven't seen public. I haven't seen public yet. Access mode public. But right beside this guy is a chest here, jank. I'm going to set the access rights on this as tier 1 jank. Did that save? There we go. I didn't think it saved. So now you'll have access to this chest, and I think there's a chest here. It's got some fishing stuff in it. You're more than welcome to have it if you want. So there you go. Tier 1 jank. There's a house up here in the top left-hand corner. It's got 2 chests in it, and it's got a couple dudes in it. Basically, like as far as these workers go, this is a lumberjack. If you hand him a journal, he'll go off and he'll come back within 24 hours, and he'll have some resources for you. I don't use these guys. I use the ones that in my main house in the center of town. I have those guys, and I just never use them. So I know you're working on wood and stone. That's kind of what I've got going on here. Is I've got wood and stone. But the big one is you can buy journals, and you can buy these journals cheap. In fact, I'll show you guys a little trick for making some silver. You can take these expert lumberjack journals. They cost $4,000 for an expert, or 4,000 silver for an expert, 2,000 silver for an adept. Now remember, 2,000 and 4,000 is what we paid for them, right? if we go to Limhurst, which is just the local city, now you can only travel with goods to the city that your island is off the coast of. If we travel to the local city here, and we go in the local city, go down to the market, go to sale. Now, we paid 4,000 silver from the guy on our island to be able to buy this journal. Now, if I would like to sell it, I can sell it for 4,999. So for that short walk, and then a little bit of time until it sells, I can make 1,000 silver. And that gets higher and higher and higher the higher level that you level up your workers. Now, again, my best worker is only tier 5 because I never mess with them, because honestly, the amount that they can bring back to me, I can actually go get in no time. But the journals themselves are really, really important. So, yeah, I mean, you can just go buy journals off those guys, sell them at the bank, and no big deal. What button did I hit to move items from my inventory to the bank? You hold shift and click them. Now this one was 2,000 silver. Let's see what we can get for it. Alright, so right now we make 899. These tame boars here, they're not going to be as worth much in this city as they will be in another city. Later I'll transport these boars out of town. Considering the boars are bought here in Limhurst, the further away from Limhurst I can take them, the more valuable they'll be. About once a week I try to make a trip all the way to the other side of the continent with some goods. I normally carry a couple 100,000 silver worth of goods on me, and most of the time I make it, but sometimes you don't get there. I mean, it just happens. So there's tier 1 jank. Well, I am going to I think I can give everyone can use this building to craft. Members of the owners guild pay the associate's fee, everyone else pays the user fee. Okay, I'll set all of this to public. So if you don't want to use silver,
you know where to find me. What do you bring me today?
This way you can use some of these buildings, jank. I had everything set up for specific stuff. I do need to feed all my dudes though, so I can hear Lincoln trying to sneak into the house or into my room. We'll set these to public so jank can use them. I guess I'll probably end up making a guild. So if you guys want to join that, I guess I can make a guild it's just a starter guild. Be careful about guilds that you get into, because a lot of guilds will have like a 15 to 50% tax, and that tax is ridiculous. I mean, you have to set like a 10% tax, but I mean, I don't think you might not have to. I think you might be able to go with no tax. But I wouldn't advise that. You do need some type of income, otherwise the guild will end up just costing you. But most of you should get used to taxes in the first place, because all decent guilds are going to require a tax. So yeah, if I make a guild, I'll set it to a very low tax, and then we'll make sure that we do something with that silver. Alright, jank, there's also stone cutters on this island here on the other side, or on this side of the island. And then there is a leather worker here as well, so you can come over here and use these too. No, you do not have to equip a journal. All you have to do is put it in your bags and then just go gather resources. My little arena. You can get these things, and you normally get some in the adventure chest, adventure challenge chest. You'll get some kind of cosmetic thing, and you can place these here on your island. Like, we could pick this up and move it if we want. But this is my little dueling arena that me and my friends duel in from time to time. So that's just about it, guys. Kilo's crew. I actually just figured it would be like a YouTube guild or something like that. I don't know. We'll see. It'll probably be something really, really simple. So it might be the MTG guild. All right, a Magic the Gathering guild. Well, we'll bring magic into this land. That'd be cool. That would be cool. Anyway, that's going to just about do it for me. Again, my wife's grandparents are coming into town. They should be here about the next 30 minutes, so I probably got to start getting ready for that. But yeah, I hope you magic and gathering. That's in the running, sir. I'm telling you, like, I did how well that suits this channel. That might actually be in the running there, Jank. But yeah, I hope you guys do like Albion Online. If you have ever played MMORPGs or MOBAs, I think you'll like it. I think you'll like the game. I think the game's got a lot to offer. And it's just a fun little thing to do. And because there are no quests, you're not actually driven or forced to go do anything. The biggest thing is trying to keep your focus and keep you from just running off and doing everything. And I'm sure that I'm sure this particular video showed that very, very well, how it's so hard to stay streamlined on a given task because there's just so much to do. So for that aspect of it, some of you will not like this game. Some of you need direction, and this game is not going to give it to you. I do expect that in the future versions of the Adventures of Livestream. Ooh, squirrel, right? Yeah, exactly. The future adventures of the Adventures of Livestream. We'll do some stuff, right? Like we'll have, like, if you guys end up liking the content, we'll definitely do something. But we'll allow chat to name a quest or something, and I'll go out and try to accomplish that on stream or something like that. So this was our introductory. I will not make the rest of the streams trying to explain the game. We're going to go out and try to do stuff in the rest of the streams. It'll probably be next week before I stream this game again. We've got a lot of magic content that's going to come out between now and then. We do have the grandparents in town, so I'm not going to be streaming anymore today. I hope you guys like my satire video, that best deck in standard, and then I tried to build the worst deck I could possibly build. Oh man, I thought it was hilarious. I really do. If we ever go on a raid type thing, you will Leroy Jenkins it. It happens at least once a week. At least once a week, somebody's like, Leroy Jenkins, and runs into a friggin' crowd of people and dies. It's a thing. It's part of our culture. If you are a video gamer, you know some Leroy. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. And as you level up a little bit and you start getting to play with friends and things, you can start doing raids and ganks and things like that. Like, because we've seen nobody out there in that black zone, if we had 5 or 6 of you guys that had, remotely leveled characters, we would be out there in those black zones, and we would be the team that was ganking. And it wouldn't take long until another team would come out to fight us, and then another team would come out to fight, and we'd either make it or we'd be back at the auction house trying to re-gear. That's a lot of fun. I think you guys will like it. Do remember that you can lose your gear. So, but yeah, it's just going to take getting some more people into the game, and I'm not going to be one of those that's like, you need to be wearing this and you need to be wearing that, because there are special builds, just like in anything. Each season's going to have its meta, because there's balance changes every season. We just had our most recent balance changes, so we're going to be seeing what's going to be good this season. It looks like it's going to be the cursed staff, probably still the halberd. I think the halberd's still really powerful. So like the cursed staff and the halberd are really good. As far as like tanks go, you still have the heavy mace tank, which is actually what I am. This character is a heavy mace tank and when I'm not tanking, a bowyer. So or a bowyer. No, not a bowyer. What do you call someone who wields a bow? It's not a Fletcher. But yeah, I'm fairly leveled up on my bows. I do need to level the actual bows a little bit more and get a little bit more specialty in them. But my main thing is my heavy mace. This heavy mace is it's my bread and butter. But then again, leather or plate armor, plate helmets, that sort of thing. Those are the ones that I have maxed out, to where I can wear the max level gear there. Wearing the tier 8 stuff, which has over 1,000 item power per piece, which is pretty sweet. Anyway, that's going to do it for everyone out in Uwood. Pluck you. Make sure you guys join the Discord so you guys can communicate. I did make a voice chat channel there on Discord for Albion Online. So if you guys are going to be playing, join the Discord, jump into the Albion Online. You can run it in the background, and it's how most people in this game communicate, because when you're out there fighting, you don't have time to type. You're fighting. So join the Discord. There's a link in the description box below where you can do that. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Go tuck yourself. See, we start playing Albion and everybody gets toxic. Like the new way to say go tuck yourself is just to ferry you. Anyway, my name's Eric. I had a lot of fun. Hope you had fun. Hope you enjoy Albion Online as much as I do. We'll see you next time.